students at the University of Winchester have condemned the university's hierarchy for spending £24,000 on a life-size statue of Greta Thunberg. You would have thought students would like it, but no. The students have accused their university of greenwashing and neglecting their commitment to the environment, saying they wanted beef taken off the canteen menu, they want cheaper vegan options, and they want to make buildings more energy efficient rather than spending money on meaningless statues. I am so glad I'm not at university anymore. Anyway, locals have also expressed bemusement at the statue as the Swedish activist has no connection with Winchester. Funny that. To give his thoughts on the story, I am delighted to say that I have comedian and host of the Trigonometry podcast, Francis Foster, here in the studio with me. Thank you very much indeed. Francis, I'm interested to know what your reaction to this story is.
Well, first, can we just say the statue is utterly appalling. I mean, artistically, it's awful.
Doesn't look like her, does it?
No, it doesn't look like her. And it's just in this weird contorted position that looks like she's kind of suffered a stroke. But anyway, apart from that, what it does is it really beautifully encapsulates how completely disconnected the people running the university are with the people that they're supposed to be managing or in the best, or, you know...
in their best interest.
In their best interest. That's what it's effectively showing. And the reality is you're going £24,000 for this statue. What could £24,000 actually do in the university? We're in the cost of living crisis. There's loads of working-class kids who are probably looking at universities going, do you know what, I'd love to go to university, but the reality is I can't afford it. When I was a teacher, I taught in a lot of deprived areas. I taught in Newham, I taught in places like Hawley, and there was a lot of kids who were really academically gifted, but because they come from one-parent households or they didn't have a lot of money, they felt that the moment they left school, they had to earn money. £24,000. Imagine if that went for scholarships.
Well, yeah, but this is what's quite interesting is that these students aren't asking for it to go to scholarships or for laptops for underprivileged children. They want it to go on a beef-free menu.
I know, and that's the thing that drives me up the wall because, look, I understand climate change is important, of course it is, but these little tokenistic gestures aren't going to make a massive difference to climate change. Things like actually helping working-class kids get to universities, providing subsidies for them, you know what? You can transform children's or young people's lives.
Also, you would have hoped that some of these students might be the bright young minds. I don't know how great an institution University of Winchester is. I'm going to say I'm sure it's an excellent one. You would have thought some of them might be the young, bright minds who might lead us out of all this climate change stuff. But do you know what's quite interesting? So I was looking at this article that explains this story, and the University of Winchester issued a statement saying that it embodies social justice for people, animals and the planet, with three key values of compassion, individuals matter and spirituality. So the University of Winchester believes it embodies social justice for everyone.
Well, and this...
Lots of tosh.
First of all, it's a load of nonsense, and we all know it, because if you actually ask them and you sat them down and go, how do you embody social justice for animals? I mean, what does that even mean? Social justice for animals? What, you go out and ask a cat what it thinks about BLM or whatever else? But the reality is it just shows academic capture, because the purpose of a university, its sole purpose, is to educate its students, just like for a school, just like for a higher education college. It is not to embody social justice. And it just shows how at the upper echelons of these universities, they all have the same way of thinking, they all believe the same thing, and actually there's no academic diversity whatsoever.
No, and it's just these painful buzzwords like social justice. It's supposed to be a positive word, but the way it's overused by every Tom, Dick and Harry who thinks that they're doing something good for the world and who ends up often being divisive for divisive causes like Black Lives Matter. It's just a load of nonsense. It's so annoying.
Well, it is, but we've got to the point now where these words that people are using, they don't mean what they used to mean. And that, actually, Emily, is a really dangerous place to be in. Think of the word racist. Now, when I was growing up, I'm 40 years old, you're right, I don't look it, thank you very much, but when I was growing up, if someone was a racist, it meant they were probably in an organisation like the National Front, the BNP, and they had very, very unpleasant views about ethnic minorities. Now, when somebody's racist, a lot of the time, it just means that they voted Conservative or they're on the right of the political spectrum, even if they're an ethnic minority.